Call to order. Please rise. Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. Regardless of the cold and the weather, we're still fighting it. I have a short agenda tonight, and I'll begin with the roll call. Obviously, I'm here. Jaden Bailey.
Here.
Alan Stewart.
Here.
William Gustchop.
Here.
Jeff Spink. Doug Tysted.
Here.
Robert Owens.
Here.
Steve Skeet.
Here.
Wolf Schmidt.
Here.
Stephen Rosenthal.
Here.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, total 9. 8 of 9 for voting. All right. Everybody get a chance to read through the minutes that were sent to you in your take-home packets. Do I have a motion of approval of the minutes?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. I don't even have a comeback for that. Okay, I have a motion and a second approval of the minutes. I'll call the roll. Jaden Bailey.
Yes.
Alan Stewart.
Yes.
William Gustchop.
Abstain, was absent.
Abstain. Doug Tysted.
Yes.
Robert Owens.
Yes.
Steve Skeet.
Yes.
Wolf Schmidt.
Yes.
And Steve Rosenthal.
Yes.
All right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Secretary's report.
A couple of quick things, Chairman, just to apprise everybody of the situation. A couple of our initial goals in the first quarter are to begin the process of the comprehensive plan annual review. Now, to be clear, and as I've said in several meetings, that review, it really is, how are you progressing to your plan? What steps have you been able to meet that were laid out in the initial implementation strategy? Our intent is to take a look at the whole plan, but not rewrite the plan, with an emphasis on the implementation strategy, what are useful tools, what are not, and then the formation of action matrices to facilitate the components of the plan that haven't been are static at this particular time. So we've sent that out to department heads and other key stakeholders. We're waiting for their replies back. Then we'll begin meetings with you and try to outline a schedule for the review and adoption of the amendment of the comprehensive plan. Again, it's the required annual review. So annual reviews typically they're not a rewrite of plan. Plans typically are 5 to 10 years long. A major rewrite typically happens or begins at that 5-year mark and can be completed as early as that 10-year mark. I think your last plan was 20 years old when you began your rewrite. The second component of this is going to be our annual policy review, which clearly will end up coming to the Planning Commission and the BOCC after. Staff is beginning to draft those changes in policy, and we will have those to you in the next 60 to 90 days. We have a lot of wheels turning all at the same time, not just with the Planning Commission, but multiple areas in the department that we're trying to complete in the first quarter. And that's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you. Appreciate it, John. All right. Do I have any declarations for tonight?
I need to sit out the second case.
9 Bravo? Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. You've seen the approval. Do I have a motion for approval of the agenda for tonight?
So moved.
Second. All right. All right. I'll call the roll. Jaden Bailey,
Yes.
Alan Stewart,
Yes.
William Gustchalk,
Yes.
Jess Binks Scott's here, Doug Tysted,
Yes.
Robert Owens,
Yes.
Steve Skeet,
Yes.
Wolf Schmidt,
Yes.
and Steve Rosenthal.
Yes.
All right, we have 8. All 8. All right. So we'll go to the regular agenda. Case number DEV 23-148 and 149, preliminary and final plat, Nova Gradic Acres.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, this is also known as 17208 State Avenue, is the physical address of the parcel. It's a 40-acre parcel that will be divided into 2 lots. Both those lots will have a shared drive for access. One of these lots will have, or they have petitioned for, a depth to width exception, which you saw in the paperwork in the agenda item. And with that, it's a very simple request, and I'm here to answer questions. And I think the petitioner is here as well.
Okay, so it's not a public hearing, folks. Does the applicant wish to speak? Is there any additional information to be presented?
No, sir.
Okay. Questions or comments from the member of the commission?
Did you say your recommendation was for approval?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve the exception. Leavenworth Planning Commission hearing case DEV 23-148 and 149, preliminary and final plat for Nova Gradic Acres as outlined in the posted agenda.
Okay, I propose we approve case DEV 28-148-149 for the preliminary and the final plot of Nova Gradic Acres as presented to us.
DEV 23.
DV 23, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
You're good.
Did I say 28?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're good? You're good? Okay, I'll entertain,
We have to approve the exception first.
you have to approve the exception. The exception. Yep.
I move that we, in case DEV 23-148-149, that we approve the exception to policy for width to length exception.
Second. I have a motion and I have a second. Is there discussion of the motion? Okay, this is for the exception. I'll call the roll. Jaden Bailey,
Yes.
Alan Stewart,
Yes.
William Gustchalk,
Yes.
Doug Tysted,
Yes.
Robert Owens,
Yes.
Steve Skeet,
Yes.
Wolf Schmidt,
Yes.
Steve Rosenthal.
Yes.
Total of 8 approved for the exception. The motion is carried by a vote of 8-0. Now I'll entertain a motion to approve the plat.
There we go. Okay, I propose we approve case DEV 23-148-149, the preliminary and final plat of the Nova Gradic Acres as presented to the board.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right. I'll call roll to approve the plat. Jaden Bailey,
Yes.
Alan Stewart,
Yes.
William Gustchalk,
Yes.
Doug Tysted,
Yes.
Robert Owens,
Yes.
Steve Skeet,
Yes.
Wolf Schmidt,
Yes.
and Steve Rosenthal.
Yes.
All right. 8 approved. 8-0 was the count. The Board of County Commissioners will consider this item no earlier than January 24, 2024, at 9 a.m. in the Leavenworth County Courthouse. Now we'll move to 9 Bravo. The Leavenworth County Planning Commission will now consider case DEV 23147, a rezoning request from I-2 and RR-5 to I-2 and B-3 as outlined in the posted agenda. This requires a public hearing. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. And the planning staff report, please.
The physical address of this particular parcel is also known as 33698 Amelia Earhart Road. It's a 16-acre parcel. It has existing zoning of I-2 on one half of the parcel and existing zoning of RR-5 on the top part of the parcel. The petition is to maintain that industrial zoning on the bottom half of the parcel with a small increase. It basically squares up the boundary of an eventual lot split that will occur there, separating the B3 from the I2 as shown in the conceptual plan with your agenda. Staff agrees that this is the highest and best use for this parcel. The comprehensive plan calls for this to be rural residential 2.5. From a planning standpoint, rural residential 2.5 on a hard corner along a major arterial road, in my view, doesn't make a great deal of sense. There is industrial in the general proximity of this particular area, but highest and best use, staff agrees, would be commercial and the retaining of that existing industrial nature. So with that, I would answer any questions.
I see an existing house there, an existing house. Does that need any type of zoning to allow for that in an industrial zone?
The house is actually in the area that will be zoned B3. And that B3 area allows that house to exist there. Logically, at some point in time, the house will either be converted or demolished into a commercial element. But it's a compliant element as a product of this rezoning as it stands.
Okay. Why would we not go all B3 in the whole?
Well, again, the petitioner has requested that he retain the I2 zoning. So, there are two ways to accommodate a rezone. One of those is by the property owner, which has happened here tonight, or the BOCC. So, from a staff standpoint, we don't necessarily have an issue with I2. Yes, I would agree that commercial is probably a better use and may very well be that in the future. But as it stands today, I think the petitioner wants to retain that zoning on that bottom part of the parcel just to protect their interest.
Thank you. No further questions.
Can you explain the B3 again for me? I understand we're going from I2 and RR5 to maintaining and retaining I2 and B3.
B3 is a commercial designation,
Yeah.
more of a retail commercial designation versus the industrial that's going to be just to the south of it. So logically, contractor's yard, retail sales, there are a lot of car sales up and down in that section of the
That's what I was
corridor.
trying to visualize based on the map, based on the description and what I've read.
Well, I can't speak for the applicant. If I owned the property with the exclusion of utilities that would be necessary for other retail uses, car sales makes a lot of sense because there's virtually no utility issue there. But again, we haven't been told that by the applicant, but logically that makes sense on a parcel zoned commercial along an arterial frontage.
Okay. Because the house is part of the B3.
Right.
Okay. Upon opening this public comment portion of the hearing, those of you who wish to speak either or for or against this item, upon recognition, we'll give your name and address at each time. that you begin to speak. This is necessary since this is a public hearing and it's being recorded. The public comment portion of this hearing is now open. Will the applicant come forward?
Good evening. Joe Herring, Herring Surveying, 315 North 5th Street. I can't explain it any better than staff did, so if you have any questions, I can answer them, hopefully.
Questions of the council? Okay. Thanks, Joe.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. All right. We'll hear from those individuals present wishing to speak in favor of the request. Okay. Based on the large audience that we have tonight. Okay. We'll hear from those individuals present wishing to speak in opposition of the request. Is there any additional information to be presented?
No, sir.
Public comment portion of this public hearing is now closed. Kansas allows for a petition protesting the decision of the Planning Commission to be filed. The petition must be filed within 14 calendar days after the date of the public hearing. Additional information on the filing of a protest petition can be obtained from Office of Planning and Zoning. Are there questions or comments from the members of the commission?
My only question is this still an RR5 zoned area up there? Or, I mean, surrounding everything around this?
Yep.
Yeah, adjoining that, there
Okay.
is RR5.
Okay.
Again, in proximity, you're going to see several areas, I think several are controlled by the county, is that correct, that are currently I zoned. So it's not a standalone industrial zoning, it is proximity zoning, so.
Yeah, based on where it's located.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a nice question, good question.
Yeah, because it's right around the corner from my house.
All right, with no other questions or comments from the commission, I'll entertain a motion on this request. The request is case DEV 23-147, a rezoning request from I-2 and RR5 to I-2 and B3. I'll entertain a motion on this request.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion that we approve case number DEV-23-147 as presented by staff.
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Any discussion on the motion from the council? Okay, I'll call roll. Jaden Bailey?
Yes.
Alan Stewart?
Yes.
William Gutschalk?
Yes.
Doug Tysted?
Yes.
Robert Owens?
Yes?
Steve Skeet?
Yes.
Wolf Schmidt? Oh, I'm sorry,
Abstained.
abstained. Steve Rosenthal?
Yes.
All right. Votes 7-0. The motion is carried 7-0. The Board of County Commissioners will consider this item no earlier than January 31st, 2024 meeting. The commission agenda is posted on the Leavenworth County website and is available for public viewing. At this time, do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The meeting is now adjourned.